Hi, this is Tim, and welcome to my walking tour of the Las Vegas Strip. So what I decided to do was, in one day, walk the entire length of the Strip in both directions. So basically, the entire Strip is about 5 miles long. But what I did was I started from the middle, right here at Harrahs. So Harrahs is where I was staying at this Strip, and I decided to walk the entire Strip in one day, starting from Harrahs, going up northbound towards the Strat. And then once I reached the Strat, I would come down the other side of the highway, the other side of Las Vegas Blvd, all the way down to Mandalay Bay, come back around and up to Harrahs. So really what I ended up walking was at least 15 miles, because not only did I walk the entire Las Vegas Strip, but I also went in and out of every major casino resort along the way. And so what you're going to see over the next 24 minutes or so is the footage that I shot on this walk. This happened on Monday, November 7th, 2022. I started off at 10 a.m. and as you're going to see in this video, you can see the time clicking away in the bottom right. I did the best to keep that clock on time of how the actual walk occurred. In the left-hand side, you're going to see a mini map. That's a Google Map image of the entire 5-mile strip there. And the red line is where I'm at on the trip, starting off at Harrahs. And right now, I'm at the Venetian. So as you can see in the bottom left, you'll see the logo of each major resort I'm at along the way. There's over 25 major resorts on the Las Vegas Strip. You'll also see from time to time, you'll see a little ticker down below at the bottom of just some facts about each location, you know, maybe some shows that they have going on there or popular restaurants or sites to see. The video you're seeing in the main screen is 4K video that I filmed on this very walk. So let's go along the walk and see what we find. Number one thing I would be asked about this type of walk is it how exhausting was it? And absolutely it was exhausting. It took, you'll see at the end here, it goes about 9 hours is what it took me. To be honest, I only had one blister at the end of the day. The Venetian and the Palazzo are basically a connected property, and when you put them together, they are the largest resort. The largest single standing resort is MGM Grand, but when you put the two of these together, they're absolutely huge. And they're building an add-on right now that is a giant sphere. It's like a concert arena that is coming out the back side of those two properties. I go to Vegas for the sights. I am not a huge gambler or drinker or anything like that. I enjoy seeing things like this. This is the lobby at the Wynn. You know, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a sight to be seen. Lots of water features like this all around Vegas. I go for the architecture. I go for the sights. I go for shows. I see a lot of shows while I'm in Vegas. And I go for solo trips, and this is something I discovered a couple years ago when I first started going. In my life, I do a lot of service type things. I work in a job that is a service job where I serve others, and I volunteer at my church in a position that's service oriented. And I've got a family that I serve, you know, and I love all of it. I enjoy all of it. But once in a while, I need to take some time just for me. I realized even when I'm on vacation with my family, most of the time I'm doing a lot of the things that they want to be doing. And that's great, and I have a great time, but there's something about being completely on your own where you wake up in the day and you get to just do what you choose to do that day. And I really enjoy what Vegas has to offer in the way of shows. See a lot of like tribute bands, impersonators, and a lot of just the free pop-up shows that are around town are just really, really great to see too. What you saw there just a minute ago was the Westgate Hotel. This was my first visit there, and I'm just a big fan of Elvis, and the most recent Elvis movie, you know, really put that on display, because that used to be the International Hotel. You saw that statue of Elvis, and that's where he performed 800 sold-out shows. We're now at the Strat, which is really the north end of the Vegas Strip. So when I got here, I realized that I was actually about a quarter of the way done. I stopped in there and had some lunch and continued on. This was also my first time at Circus Circus. Circus Circus is definitely a more family-friendly themed hotel. Moving on to the newest resort on the Strip when I took my walk, and that's Resorts World. Mixed reviews I've heard about this place. Some really neat things, and maybe it didn't quite live up to the hype for some as well. But yeah, I had absolutely gorgeous weather on this day. There's a quick shot of me on the walk to prove it was really me doing it. No, a beautiful day, about 70 degrees most of the time I was out. Maybe a little cooler once the sun went down. A quick view of Trump Tower. Trump Tower is actually a bit off the Strip, so I didn't take the time to go over there and visit it on this trip. But as you watch the mini map there on the left, you can see the progress we've made so far. We're at Treasure Island now. The Marvel Avengers station there that I showed for a second is really an excellent exhibit if you're into superheroes and Marvel and things like that. Really enjoyed that on my first trip out. I've now made four solo trips out there. Onto the Mirage. Now the Mirage is known for its big lava show out front, which I'll show here in a second. But the Mirage is changing, so apparently Hard Rock Hotel and Casino is taking over it. And it'll be going through a transformation probably over the next year or two. Big question is, will the Beatles' Love Cirque du Soleil show continue on? I've seen 3 Cirque shows now. Absolutely blown away by Cirque du Soleil. The overwhelming, what it does to your senses, just so much visual stuff going on all at the same time is so awesome. And my favorite one has definitely been the Beatles' Love show. It is absolutely phenomenal. Here's the leading into that show entryway. A lot of people are going to miss that lava show if they take it away. Alright, once we get here, we're at Caesar's Palace, and this is the Forum Shops and Caesar's Palace is absolutely gorgeous, inside and outside. And even with their mall area here at the Forum Shops, it's still top-notch decor. I mean, just no expense spared. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just really done up and just gorgeous. Lots of these types of statues and monuments. I noticed all the figures just up above, even the statues just lining the room. Up ahead was my first time getting to see the, I think it's called Fall of Atlantis, animated, or animatronic, I should say, show. It had been down for a while, I think, during COVID. It's actually really well done. And then this is walking into the actual Caesar's Palace Resort now. Okay, man, which way's to the bathroom? Oh, got it, that way. Thanks. There's Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen out front. You'll recognize Caesar's Palace from a lot of movies. Once we get here, leaving Caesar's Palace area, as you can tell from the map, we're about halfway done. We've gone all the way up the north end and back to kind of across the street from where we started. And now we're moving on here to really the world famous Bellagio. Fountain show is really, really world class, and it feels like that is the heart of Vegas. This is the best footage I have of it from one of my previous visits. And if you look on my YouTube page, I've got the full 4K of this as well. It's pretty impressive. You might remember the Bellagio as the resort that Danny Ocean and his crew in Ocean's 11 robbed. This is the Bellagio Conservatory. Very, very impressive just display. And it's the coolest thing I like about it is it's redone every season. Every season they change it out and make it an entire new display. So there's always something new to see when you go to the Bellagio Conservatory. I think it was the Aria that they stayed at in the last Jason Bourne movie, if you remember that. New York is a favorite of mine. I mean, just the decor and how they've gone all out with that little Brooklyn Bridge display out front, the Statue of Liberty, and the way that the hotel is shaped, like the buildings. To be honest, when I first went there, I thought the buildings out front, the skyline, was like a facade or something, like a Hollywood facade, and then like just behind it, it was just regular buildings or something like that. I had no idea, like the way it displays those buildings, those are the real hotel. That's the hotel. Those are the towers for the hotel. So it's just really, really impressive. It has that roller coaster that goes throughout the outside as well. And I have ridden it multiple times. Okay, going on to the castle, Excalibur. This is a very much a value resort, so you can get rooms as low as $19 a night sometimes. And some people think, you know, you get what you pay for here. Oh yeah, the Luxor, Carrot Top, Blue Man Group are found there. And just a really awkward design. And something I really have to say about the Luxor is the light on top. So the light at night shoots up into the sky, and apparently can be seen from space. That's the story, at least. Alright, we are all the way down to the south end now of the Strip, Mandalay Bay. They've got the MJ1 Cirque du Soleil show there. And unfortunately, it's also known for, you know, the I want to say almost terrorist attack, but the mass shooting incident there with the country music festival that was going on. That happened up there on the 40th or so floor of this resort. One of the greatest views is going across the bridge here to Tropicana. Now we're starting to get dark out. Because it's November, it gets dark out pretty early, before 5 even. This was my first visit to Tropicana. Now we start making our way back up the Strip, and MGM Grand. This place is like a city. It's an entire block. There's a quick view of New York, New York again, as we go into MGM Grand, and you can just walk around this thing forever. I mean, tons of restaurants, tons of shows, tons of gaming space and conference, and they've also got, you know, the big arena there. There's lots of famous boxing matches that happen there and things like that. Definitely the crown jewel of MGM. Alright, we're getting there. We're about 3/4 done of the walk. We just got to make our way back up the Strip. And the Strip is always something to see at night, isn't it? Like, the lights that light up. I mean, there are times where it's lit up so much. I mean, it feels like it's still daytime. Something that surprised me about Vegas when I started going in and out of these resorts was the doors. They're just always open. You know, it's like, well, what if it rains? What if it snows? And what if it's bad weather? And, you know, and it dawned on me, we're in the desert. It's not bad weather. So these doors are open and the city's awake 24/7. And so it's just something when you're not from that area that kind of surprises you first. Planet Hollywood has the Miracle Mile shops, basically like a long mall that's attached to it, and they have several theaters in there too with shows going on. And then across the street from the Bellagio is another nice place to take in. Fountain show, especially at night. Look at the fountains in comparison to all the people gathered right below. Just to kind of get the idea of the magnitude of that show. It's a different type of view on it from here. Paris and the Eiffel Tower lit up at night is definitely something to see. I've not had a chance to go up in it yet. A lot of the places will do like this does with the ceiling, and it makes it kind of feel like you're still outside, even though you're inside. This is a shot I shot earlier in the day from across the street, and it just gives you another better view on Paris from the outside. Going into Ballys now. Ballys has been around a very long time, but they're actually undergoing a transformation right now. There's a lot of construction going on in there. I believe they're changing it to the Horseshoe. Flamingo is that neon sign there is original, and it's a very beautiful place, always lit up with this pink hue to it, and it's one of the, well, it is the oldest resort on the Strip, still in operation today. And between Flamingo and the Linq is the Linq Promenade. And at the very end of this promenade is the High Roller, the big Ferris wheel you can see from all over town. But then just a really long a strip of restaurants and gift shops and things to do down there. Coming out of the Flamingo in between there and the Linq. They've also got a zip line that runs down this corridor. The Linq is another budget-friendly resort right in the heart of the Strip. I think this spot right down here where the Linq is, and Harrahs and Caesars and the Bellagio and such, that's kind of your center Strip area. That's where the highest foot traffic is. If you stay down on either end, like at the Strat or at Mandalay Bay, they're fine places, but you're mostly going to stay within your resort or maybe next door. It's too far to walk to other things. So between the Linq and going back to our starting place of Harrahs is a fun little location. We'll see some characters out there to take pictures with. And also Carnival Court, which is an outdoor bar and concert arena, and they have 3 bands playing almost every night. We're almost there. We're going to wrap this up at 7 o'clock. We're going to head back into Harrahs, and we'll be done with our entire trip. We made it. The one thing you want to check out when you're at Harrahs is the piano bar. They have karaoke, they have dueling pianos, they have the Big Elvis show during the afternoons. Very, very popular place. It's often very packed out, even on the outside of it. That's it, folks. We did it. The entire Las Vegas Strip in one day, in 9 hours, over 15 miles walked, in and out of every place. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for coming along.